like the sound of that.
Me neither.
Josef Fares was originally a Swedish film director, but he moved into game development with 2013's acclaimed cooperative game, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. He continued exploring co-op gaming with the Prison Break game, A Way Out, in 2018. It requires a partner to play it at all, but perhaps what really put him on the map was his F the Oscars rant at the Game Awards in 2017. His latest excursion into reciprocal play is 3D platformer It Takes Two. It launched early this year to near unanimous praise from critics that place it as a Game of the Year contender, and now it's joined Game Pass via the base EA Play tier. Let's find out if It Takes Two is a Game Pass or a game fail.
Chapter 1!
As the story goes, a couple is divorcing, so their daughter consults a magical relationship book to try and help get them back together. The couple is transformed into a pair of dolls who must brave the dangers of the house and backyard to return to normal.
You're right! Yeah, this is serious. We're hunting fuses with legs!
Along the way, the chatty book does its part to repair their frayed relationship. It's easy to identify with their journey of self-reflection and discovery. The game doesn't pass much judgment on the situation, though the book isn't afraid of sharing some harsh truths.
Yeah, get out of the way! I need to go and talk to my daughter. Your daughter? Oh, you talk like you own her.
Harsh is a good word to use when describing the book in general. Its voiceover can be a bit overbearing and dramatic. Unlike the quarreling lovers, it's a hard character to love.
Stupid book!
Oh, you've locked us in, you idiots!
Now we're stuck in here! Stuckness is a mental construct.
Unlike a lot of cooperative games, It Takes Two isn't a short experience. Several times we've been fooled into thinking it was about to conclude, only for the book to show up and tell us otherwise. We are 7 hours in with a lot more to go, yet its creativity continues to shine through.
There are no relationships without challenges. Challenges make you grow!
It Takes Two is a cooperative 3D platformer. You are always doing something different. In just the first couple of hours, you jump through vacuum hoses, create platforms with a nail gun, and battle wasps with a combo of explosive nectar and matches. The primary platforming sections are augmented with smaller missions that have you piloting vehicles, shooting, and a lot more we don't want to spoil. Toss in a bunch of competitive minigames for a quick diversion, and there's so much variety that anything that becomes repetitive is the exception and not the rule.
I knew it. I'm too fast for you.
I'll beat you next time!
The most important thing to remember is that the game is 100% co-op. You cannot play it by yourself, but the entire game is designed around it. Each character has a different special power exclusive to each mission, and they have to work together to get through each challenge. The powers get much more exotic in later levels, and thus each character gets a totally different gameplay experience. Of course, you can always play missions again to play from the other perspective if you choose.
Cody, don't screw this up!
Yeah, just get to jumping.
The gameplay takes a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none approach. There are so many different activities and control schemes that we're not surprised a couple of them feel a bit off. Even the core platforming can sometimes fall short when jumping from moving platforms. The shooting sections feature an aggressive auto-aim, which makes perfect sense for a game focused on getting from point A to point B instead of building an impressive kill-death ratio. Clever boss fights happen at the end of each mission, but they're not especially difficult. Usually, once you figure out what you're supposed to do, you'll complete it on the next try. But they can be marvelous encounters that stand as one of the highlights of the experience.
How do you like that, dustbag?
Each character has a rebounding health meter, but they can't take much damage before fainting. The good news is that you can revive yourself provided your partner hasn't also bit the dust. And even if that happens, you're only sent a short ways back to a checkpoint. The most obvious comp for It Takes Two is Hazelight's previous game, A Way Out. It explores similar cooperative themes, though it's more of an action-adventure than a platformer, and the content and tones skew a little older. Unravel 2 is another good co-op puzzle platformer from EA's original sublabel, but it's mostly side-scrolling and has a more traditional structure. Fogs is an indie spin on the co-op puzzle platformer, and it's also received a strong response from critics. If you're looking for a more traditional single-player 3D platformer, Psychonauts 2 and its prequel are both excellent. Now it's time to find out, is It Takes Two a Game Pass or a game fail?
Holy crap!
Focus! Here it comes!
It Takes Two is one of the more creative games in recent memory. Every moment you are doing something different, and much of the time it's something you've rarely done in games before. What's amazing is how so many different gameplay styles have been included in one release, yet hardly any of them feel half-baked. The charming story has enough heart that a loudmouth book can't ruin it, and it's neatly broken up into discrete chapters so it always feels like you're making meaningful progress. This makes it a good fit for Game Pass, but best of all, the experience is actually improved on Microsoft service. If you purchased the game at full price, it was often hard to find another player online who stopped at the same exact point you did. With its much larger audience on Game Pass, matchmaking is so much easier. Plus, the Friend Pass system means only one player needs to own the game, which expands the options even further. It's one of the best and most unique experiences of 2021. It Takes Two is a Game Pass. Special thanks to Sifted community member SJD Swanland for playing through the game with us. For next week, we are looking at Forza Horizon 5.